peno na ase near chroma for ne be choose to say we na mumfa ne mrani entoma mo no party no so executive said no and you no ne yepe we ne yepe it is a problem that party no say ya identify near and just had in dia we will keep on losing or every by election you be lose ebisi eno anasia ko see wo kuma Ablekuma dem crowd you said the enfane say problem e ba ya Ablekuma dem no me who ne say
because me am aware say na yeti nkofo ka say ma me nko ntena se no mo fa nipa foforo nko
exactly and omukọ ka say by election ko omu nko biem enti no say general secretary Babontin be na say ye nkoto aba na ebu supporters na bombs o na because ye see nko and emu no Agyapong be gina mu ka say na dey the party signature ye be no matter what ye nko me wa na ma mi wa body car ye ni campaign access so much money that's what be gina ka say ye nko biem what's any campaign in advance it in a bro call lose me now knew for sure say she was going to lose because of any MSCC here before the D-Day election. I know she was going to lose, but well, she had to do what she has to do. And come by. Akwatia the AAC in Ray. If you had the same problem I could face you assess north, no, the same thing they see you. Chroma for ne say Yakumi Kodia the right candidate to Timmy beating NDC in thousands of numbers, no, I think about 40,000 difference. I know the BT NDC.
Tikomu fa say nipa krona nko.
Nipa nimra was Ama Sey. Ama Sey BT and then NDC no two no free so me refi did one Muslim guy beat as chairman Beb Kani Dina Bama. O two no. And yeah, Crawford say Ama Sey has the support in that land. It bring her. Almost so now yeah, politics will be so or working camp. It or working camp would there the neighbor lose to your or This is the problem we're facing. It is as long as we are not going to identify the problem I think people go through now. Every by election we should count ourselves that we are going to lose. Because they say party your Fasarikano internal if we can't fix it. At the end of the day, next election, what you have funny man to MPs cry 50 our parliament. Because idea no clear say executive na idea no omu as a pick and choose when I'm a pen where the way ba me pen we support we kwa that's what we know back can we home. Why are we dividing ourselves all of a sudden? Yeah, one board was running or snowing back up. Say, I must say, but no, we need seat now, or we need my MPP. Or we need seat now, we need my just Agyapong. Agyapong by cry to see a young to it. So what I say, so yeah, come by election before Ken.
Exactly.
Exactly. Why are you blocking her, say, or we know they're cooking? What is going on in our mind?
The way they only blame the man national executives and say, forcing of candidate on people, no.
Yes. Stop doing this. Man, just idea we are yeah. We are going to lose everybody election. And on a year 2020, you lose here, drop back to 137. It took only Agyapong to go and beg Honorable Esiama to bring his independent vote to add it to our to have that slim majority. Sa machination way me pewe no I don't know party for it until the national executive will stop this thing and fix the party. Say, listen, we are going as a united front. Young research, your research department or MPP. And my question to them said, do they do research before election? It seems to me said no, there's no research going on because research here. Akwatia promo, when say by election, you have about 2 months or 3 months ahead of you. Why don't you go there and do research and talk to the people? Muna muti Akwatia, mwana mufosi ya dene ba bebuamu.
Sir.
Omon country also, mudi asuma do iba yepe. Now have way no biso mufa Ama Sey siamra because Ama Sey get along with the people. A whole free.
I mean, so a popular pa, or popular.
Oh, yeah, very popular. Oh, yeah, very popular. And almost blocking, you know. It's like on your post. The penny at the neighbor, the party penny, a form for the pen. And on I did more aqua do your primary, see, your presidential candidate. A form for the say, Mufa way running and for 2 minimum. Parties to say, yam penny a form for yam party no near a penny. This is the problem we facing as MPP party. Because 2024 primary, see, say, yes, I'm a nation, and a be a Yamuma say, only BB. Yeah, rather, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, what better 8 years as a vice president, any bad. What the you running made 8 years, what better another 8 years for as a vice president? It's number 2 in the land. And no coffee, a crowd or beautiful for your bar with new face, and I hear there. Do we have to even talk about this? Do we have to discuss about this? Now, what the jumps are canning? Yes, I only answer and him right to one person. Me better me bizarre question MPP any crash we are umbi. So what I say? It seems to me that there's nobody or one answer or women answer bet mabu or mine apart from Dr. Mahmoud Bambia. Very bad. The way they are treating the party, you know, Obia Fanison is the
person. But when they said Akwatia, Baumia wasn't there, was he?
He was there. He went to campaign.
Baumia control one.
Well, on control, but I feel the American say, I'm saying me because about me per se. The way the executive are doing, me kind of general perspective say. Sa me pay we no. I didn't know more yet. Force me probably this show be corner. And on a good party, no. Allow the form for to choose. Let the grassroots select for you, sir. When you are in the Tikromoa to any pen. Now, I bet you say, Sa Akwatia election way, it was a done deal for MPP. If they would have brought Ama Sey, Ama Sey on your campaign. Because I know I'm going to take for more. Obi admira obi koka as Ama Sey in Tibrofo. Look at that. Obi a why MP.
Na that be openi brofo cry dey fa ho. Ya make kasa. Anybody be win amawa. In any case, ya shemra. Say ya consultative assembly at the constitution no. Omo Tibrofo na kan ho. The consultative assembly no omo the constitution no.
Ya ko fa jomo forma
because nyansa enya brofo. Nyansa enya brofo.
Assembly where you are no man. Beside that, I must say, winning first one call parliament. So call parliament. Oh yeah, Juma now one Juma. Oh yeah, Juma. And assassination 2020 more kiki war one at sometime. You the floor. Nipa amudin the core and on so and from 88 to 87. Yakoma NDC for your 2/3 majority. So that 2/3 never. MPP for MP, some people because anything they want to do in parliament, they can do it. Who will sit time at this kind of keke? Oh man, you're 2/3, that's for quorum. So what are you going to do there? What I say? It's the party there, like we are in a junk status.
What do you think about that, Chairman? As I be ako can say, it was someone as MPP. Now, to me, Monte be pagana for chow.
If you are a chow panel, come and say a patch on. Right after the election, you lose you know. Right after the election, the first thing we could have done is come out. Yeah, I'm part of you mean who see platform this stage. See a cotton Q talk. Patch engine to most me bedamase. Sani eno. And if I this assembly say, me why am I born? What bomasuma shimi say obaya. I dare chan wa be German so me da say. So then I'll damase home. It doesn't make sense. The whole structure, there is no sense in it. What transit dream what blood run through their vein? Because it looks like almost for partners, their personal property. Whatever they want to do, that's what they do. Do too much.
Back to Mr. Jerome Poku, back to national executives, national election presidential, and so Bambusa chairman. Chairman, we are executive. And who could a domwano? Inti when you know, minim say how. Inti na woka say be ya mo patch going forward, mbe build it. What is the way forward? Because they say they may show some grassroots for no crowd. What is the way for Neonco presidential racing?
Yo, if you before I would address your question. No.
Mm-hmm.
Mami, let me clarify something. Jerry Kaya, and I don't think it's even factual
Okay.
regarding the selection of Ama Sey.
Okay.
One, Mami can't be sure. So, yeah, a friend is saying, even an Escumia and I'm confident crazy, oh, we elections. But you didn't even see Ama Sey play a lot of what I said. You could see that there was tension. At Argentina, this way around, if I a new candidate, that tension was not there. Because the candidate that was presented, Ama Sey the so and sa at it.
The original,
Ama Sey tell me because Jerry Kasem be sometimes if you don't have the facts, don't share them. You just end up destroying the party. You have to speak with facts. Okay. 2, there's a reason in Tia we didn't go for an election. 1, the time span, no. It's not as if say we have NPP has a research ongoing every year. Your research candidates or more. The party has research what do you call it? Research officers at every level, at the constituency, at the regional level, research officers. So we have that data. Okay. When you look at the time span of your war,
another thing altogether.
And to the time you buy election now, the best approach was to have a consensus candidate. Because that will give you time to build up for the elections. In terms of the history of how this guy even came in, I said the party was even the constituency executive. No, his relationship with Ama Sey. What did I say? It's not as if say now Ama Sey you bypass it. No, you see, we shouldn't send narrative because we want to put a certain agenda. Let's stick to the truth. For me, that's one thing that I believe in. This was a consensus candidate that we presented. Yes, one winner. What I see, maybe we could have done more. Yes, we accept those things. But that doesn't mean we should push a narrative. That is very wrong. What I say?
And Ama Sey Nana call any candidate until there was
exactly.
Because Ama Sey Nana say or no be more attention, babam.
Not even attention. So what I say, Ama Sey has been there. And I'm a party, it's not just about where the MP. There's a lot of roles that you can see. So if most of the time Baumia call here, Baumia call yeah. You saw Ama Sey with Baumia.
Okay. Okay.
Most of the campaign rounds. In this to be BSC, let's not twist the narrative. What you say? Let's all be very open.
Is it true that no man for the work now no more pay Ama Sey na?
It was a consensus candidate. They don't say elections will be our dom, but then you pick who the majority ones. Who your candidate 100% will be our panel.
Okay.
What you say? You look at the factors and you build consensus.
You manage Ama Sey.
So Ama Sey is not aggrieved. That's the point I'm trying to say. So
if she was not aggrieved, I don't know any campaign.
So, and I'm my example says already in the Skumi campaigner and the way that she was distant, right? You said that the situation was very, very different this time around. What you say?
I didn't see
any time about me has been out there or any of them, Ama Sey has come out.
I'm talking about the parliamentary candidates, not Ama Sey Dinechi.
I'm saying, she was with the candidate. She's very much aware. She had no negative feelings towards the candidate. And you can call Ama Sey herself to verify.
Okay.
Tell me more the history between unknown candidates. Most people don't even know the relationship that she has with the candidate.
Okay.
Even in terms of the candidate's profession. Most people don't even know how the candidate even got to her profession. And the role Ama Sey played in the candidate's life. So my can't exactly. My can't say even the Juma how they even got to the profession. My can't people don't even know.
Okay.
But as in now because of certain narrative people said, elections there. As I told you, they'll go for a while. You don't get that wrong. But as a party, you have to build consensus, look at the constraints that you have, the time constraints and all those things, and get into an election. So those are the things that we said. Yes, the party didn't win. And it doesn't mean, say, your friend is saying, we try, now go for you in the farmer saying, I was every people say lose it, say, everybody wants Ama Sey. Then because of one person or because of one person, they will try to say we'll sacrifice the party. And the party remember him. No, we shouldn't have that posture. That is very, very wrong. And that is what is killing us as a party.
Okay.
Let us be very open and very honest when we're talking about party issues. It's very, very important.
Okay.
So now let me go to your question. What do we need to do to build a party? One of the things that I think as a party here lack is our communication. Because we did a lot of developments, we did a lot of projects, but how we communicated them was very, very, very bad. Our communication was very, very incoherent. And that is something that as a party, we need to have a communication strategy. Last elections, NDC was on air. On air. Obviously, they have the radio station, they have the TV stations, but they were on air before we even came on air. These are things that we need to be able to solve them. Structurally, we need to have our communication out there. That is something that we really need to come up with a very good
communication. Soon as some penny for be executives now on national, more music say. Communicators here for manaba partners what the ADC hotels.
And I'm making a fear. The most important thing, I say that you justify a food by the end result. We need to fix it. So it's the problem by let's find a way that it's kind of form. As me, I always believe in end results. That needs to happen. So communication was a big problem. Okay. The second thing that we need to do as a party, it'd be about Jerry DA, which I respect him a lot. But as a party, we need to defend publicly, and we need to be able to keep our internal discuss internal. I think NDC, they have a lot of classes than us, so more, a lot of some people more, but they're able to keep it under hush. What I say? Now, say, so okay, your power. NDC for Akwatia second. Some people want to create some queen and go for that is the time and your power. They want to pull knives. I said that had the word to come on and defend that action. And the but he came to defend that action. It was very wrong. But would have crucified our own people. But I say it's not if we want to support the bad thing, but we need to be able to learn how we can defend the party publicly and fight our internal battles internally. That is very, very key as a party.
After over 30 years of being part of multi-party democracy, say a chairman who said and any more problem because they okay a true NDC will say NDC come ahoy for no also on to your munka. Fanticocos for no on to your munka. The NDC was able to summarize Kokwanido out of NDC. In out of NDC class still and do baby more anka asamaba.
So that is something that we need to, because we need to be able to address. Let's say over 30 years, we find Kufuado. It was even hotter than what we are seeing now. No, a lot of people don't really know. If you really study Kufuado's campaign, it was even hotter than this, but we were able to keep it under control. That is something that we as a new generation, you share from the how do we able to do it? It's not as if say we're 30 if not late. I just think we've let certain things come under and they've let some crash happen. That's what is happening. But we need to go back to how these things were handled. It's very important as a party. The way that we're able to keep our internal communication, our external communication, very good. But the most important one, I feel is the most critical is we need to be able to invest in youth leadership. Right now, the voter population, majority is the youth. So if as a party we lose the youth, we are in big trouble.
You see that who lose youth, Nana?
Yes. I think we are losing the youth. I know that it was multifaceted. Part of the reason why we lost the youth was some of the policies that we passed, even though we had to pass as a matter of necessity, didn't really favor us. I'll give you an example. Betting tax. Let me say, we compare more Ghana. Because we go to a fuel, also maybe I'm nti mate no munim so munim say party mo munim nti ko ara bia o minimum di ko bia we kakra bia papa mo mo bia ya atodwane bia di kale man MPP dey pemu but say me go try me loto kakra me wan ye no so be 10% kakra me dey mai aja say mbetimi aka na mo mpanimfo eyi sa de na fi wa man. I understand the necessity of it, in terms of tax revenue, but these things didn't help us. The second thing I'll talk about is we even lost academia. Normally, yes, we were the party that had academia. But I think some communications, as a party, I think it's about time we curb it. Their term insinuations. The party was not known for that. We were a party that were known for factual information. Those times, that time got TV, so more kasa. We have the men. Sir, their term name, we are saying that tribalism, we need to cut those things out. Those things don't signify us as a party. We need to get back to what we are known for. The youth development is very, very important. I will say it to me, making sure that we get back the youth. That is the one for me. I look at it with the critical thing. And how do we do that? Let's come up with policies that favor the youth. Even in opposition, you don't have to be empowered to have policies. What I say that favor the youth. Maybe say your training institute, right? Let's have the leaders. Now we have a national parade training institute. Let's put some of our leaders in our TESCON guys.
No more starting
in the party ideology. What is governance? What look at the law school. Things that I like about them, but I like about them. Most of the people that think them through law school, most of their guys. Who will be a lawyer? I think it was a good thing. There's nothing wrong with learning a good thing. Let's groom our guys. Let's give opportunity to our guys. TESCON, most of our groups like maybe the loyal ladies. We have a lot of youth groups that are out there that we can support. What I say, we need to build this, because once we do that, then we'll begin to endear ourselves back to the Ghanaians.
Okay.
So those are things that I think that they are critical for us as a party to be able to do.
Okay. Hey, Mr. Agyapong, anything way forward, because they say the baby amudi just say don't get a party no manage mamo. What do you think? The chairman the baby about, which is very, very excellent. The point about the youth, and chairman Kata Agyapong say you are losing the youth. They say youth, and Canada points one of the people or bringing or the youth, MPP mo, and voting population now 17.5 million. Out of that 17.5, 10 million a youth, 10 million between 18 and 34 years. And now what's our bracket? In the chairman Kata mu lose a serious headache. Then now this is me. I'm increasing more the fact that call for payment.
Okay, me that say fear. May answer question. Me straight in here market to about chairman answer now or the man about Ama Sey no.
Ama Sey then they say I can't be
me to na me dey shame just to let him know say no kind know about Ama Sey ne. So groom the candidate
or the candidate no ho na kola.
Candidate or the buy. Yeah, and or na kola doesn't mean Ama doesn't want to run. From my personal intel, there were evidence. Okay. Ama was ready to go. MPP for the years, I don't know. It me person.
But the chairman kind of something as well say, Ama Sey to buy and kaya kumi Crawford beka so mon supporting. So they needed a unifying candidate at least Obian Crawford beba kakra.
That was the argument, but Ama Sey has the upper hand than Yakumi Dipan of the buy. That's the bottom line. If you vote on the BT here, Ama could have captured and over.
As throwing now, this and Kama the vote in Abremo.
Or Kama will win election one touch. If you Kama will win, from what I know, it me fair don't to him. Now he brought as a Sarbedia could come by the youth. He brought that up. They say you share Ghana your political dynamics and baby and namna. It's all about the youth. Without the youth, it's impossible to win power. Now, who can bring the youth? Who can unify the youth? Who can bring the youth on board? Only one person. The youth are yearning, they are crying, they are begging MPP for say grassroots foreign mufa can money into Obama. Why?
The whole Ghana can bet me the youth in Aba. I think I know that you are it's far reaching Kakra. I think and they always
I will explain. What percentage be for youth, right? Who say John unya timer? Let your cameraman hit the road.
Oh, so me I know what second or youth in the penasem. So that one is not in contention.
Exactly.
But like okay, exaggeration. As
MPP Mudia, he's the only one who can bring the youth to win power.
Before I can't know you to phone MPP Moana.
So besides our question, how answer better Menyama. What I'm saying is you can't be our youth supporters or bet me the party to bring back MPP spirits now. It's Ken as we speaking now. Minister Brian Champon is trying to build the youth because of language barrier. Brian want to put that street life room, which is fantastic. I love that. But Also, Ken himself, no, let me put in a broader position. Ken is an institution when it comes to MPP politics, man. We're building itself over the years. Since 92, but Adoya Oye, and now the Muslim factor, Afibia that Oye the tradition. Every year, Ramadan, I had to create one rice, I had to create a full of oil. No a time. You think these people don't see? They read it. It's normal say papa way, that's why on your Muslim. More than a bar, Adoya woman and team or woman eating. We are going to elect him, we are going to vote for him. Mean that doesn't say oh no kwana youth to the penasem. But he carried the majority of the youth. It will be at the kakra muono. More the better na chini pussy kana. Easy win. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that Ken is better than anybody in the party. You can say 2 many year pedia. Say oh my money say young fan say manusi sumras can you bodam for cry. That's all man says I bodam for way na mo fan him run you to me. Take Okono Koji to me now. Now he's going to be in power. Baumia will be in power. Me and Mitua will be in power. Because Obina Kojiaba. Let's put it, I don't know Republicans will use promo. Who was the Republicans and they paid Donald Trump? No. But they saw in him that he's the only one who can capture power for them. They use him. Omunya too many years. Ted Cruz will enjoy. Lindsey Graham enjoy. Obia enjoy through that power. It will call position. I give you a word to Naka. It is let's get
delegates about on Kamamunto. Naga party for hand post.
Yeah.
Hand picking Anna.
Yeah, hand picking, let him go.
Oh, Mr. Jerry Opoku, get a constitution. I got a one party in the end. My own better on the bay, man. Because constitution is a battle. Who fought Debbie over Mr. Jerry? Yeah, but the preamble. No, the preamble to the question. What can someone hand picking? It's unconstitutional. One Casamo party because President Kufo
yatono happen.
Nanado yatono swaba. Almighty JH mensa the working encyclopedia yatono swaba. So why should can be treated differently? So on there.
Wait. You asked me a question. I know. Manka said they should break the constitution. You asked yes, me pemu. Say me menya de anka no yan to ne swaba. I'm not saying say they should breach that constitutional regulation here, which is not going to happen. But the question you throw said, yes, of course. I'm full fan of Ken. Me pay more commander best for the chino. 9 people before say, you know, I'll be a Drobi Academy at the Ken. But it's not going to happen. And your question I'll be me. I'm not saying it's a change to Omufanimra. But ultra dynamics now tier chrome. Baby, a near me qua. I fear. Oh dear, one day, Meseda Probino no Kwan and Accra to Cape Coast will be so far Accra to Kumasi. Omunya video no more send him rem. Offers already is aware of what I'm talking about. If the grassroots no do onipani dia, O Kata Manana Nado Oban. Nanado time when the grassroots started accepting him or this Akumi Prekuna the other day. Nanado popularity no, it was huge. That is why MPP for now was able to say, let's give him another chance. Nanado one got 3 times. Me. Nanado 3rd time, no cross so Lucia. I bet to the MPP for them now for 4th time. Because now the performance was perfect. They were on Yanima, they were kind of said the grassroots, we won him. Almost was the second coming of JJ. So what I say, and no second one. Yeah, POB as artist now Ghana Pro is it. If you can you military rule, but entirely military rule. Yeah, POB and any so can has that little bit of military and a little bit of Democrats. Democrats in the Kakra we talk across. It is such person here didn't see more he's going to I wish it's any American people make
you really a point of order. Chairman Bajogoso.
You see, Jerry and the rest of basically he's declared himself so a Ken, you cannot really fault him. But you see, as a party, that is why we have structures, that we have our rules. Until January 31st, right? You see a party for na kasa enko no munko yi pakra majority of the party no heading. Epeno. Sena me no ka say nkofo ennum na de omuti aba. Say on person omugina. To one Brian, Baumia, Ken, Educhum, and what there's a fifth person I'm forgetting the name. I think Brian, Baumia, Ken.
Agyapong.
What you say? What I think, sir, we need to emphasize as a party, right? Especially we the leaders, leaders, is to make sure, sir, the process is very open, free, and fair. I don't buy the philosophy, say, one person has the magic wand to win his power without unity. I don't share that philosophy. Whether it's Ken, whether it's Baumia, whether it's whoever it is, none of our leaders have the magic wand to win his power without unity. Into the most important thing I say, you're making sure, say, January 31st, you could talk, but they say, we all wanted almost 1 man, 1 vote. Yeah, but at least we've opened this significantly. Whatever the delegates choose, whoever the delegates choose, would be a positive representation of the party. Then we all back him. In the Senate, Jerry Kane, Sagana for Nafu say free Kumasi to Cape Pacific, that is going to reflect on January 31st. If Ghanaians feel say it's Baumia, and I hear a friend say, and that's some who say Duchum, and I say Brian, and I say Agyapong, it will reflect on January 31st. It's not about personalities, it's about the process. That is why I would say that let's make sure we have a process that is free and fair.
Draw youth now, it should reflect on the results.
It should reflect on the January 31st. So if I were youth, I'm not going to challenge you. Challenge you, Mr. Jerry. What you say? Because in the same way the Bamian puppets now, and I saw the because they say the same thing you were already saying. What you say? So I'm not even going to challenge you. It can be true. But what I'm trying to tell you is that process is going to be reflected on January 31st. So what we all need to campaign for is make sure that the process is very open, is very free and fair. There's no machinations. Because a free and fairness will be a lucio, but in God the support of a boy.
Now you're speaking my language.
I'm always speaking your language, Jerry. I always speak your language. And that is where we need to be as a party. That is where I'm coming from. So let's have an open process where everybody can come in. And once we elect a leader, then we know, say, okay, now we've elected who we think the majority of the party wants. Then we can go and fight the NDC. Okay? A lot of people talk about baggage, about some of those in the way say, way back, way into Mano, and our religion, and our way to what can send, all of our leaders, no matter who we bring, there's a lot of baggage that we have to defend as a party. Okay, baggage, and the man Ghana for 1 2 bar. Mahama was president. Mahama had a lot of baggage, but it was because he had a united party behind him. He was able to go. So I don't have a problem with whoever is going to be our candidate. I want him to make sure that the candidate that comes in is a candidate that majority of the people want. Once we have that baseline, we can work from there. We can work with anybody and we'll win power. So that is where the discussion needs to be. I don't have a problem with Jerry saying that they can't deny the most popular. Now, because they can't deny the most popular. Those things are fine. Let's have an open discussion. We'll be going in the campaign. But most importantly, the process to elect the flag bearer, January 31st, has to be a very fair one. Because Ghanaians are looking for a government in waiting. Don't get me wrong. Ghanaians want a responsible opposition. They want a government in waiting. And they won't give power to a dissolution party. If we go to January 31st, we are still disillusioned that we're not going to get power. But I said, so let's have a united party. It's true, Ghanaians are not going to give power to a dissolution party. If our party is not coherent, we are not one, anything won't give us power, regardless of who becomes the flag bearer. The most important is let's come out of January 31st as a united party, as a party ready to govern, a responsible party in opposition, so that our flag bearer can form a shadow government to keep Mahama's government in check. Because they are messing the country up. And we need a flag bearer and a shadow government to be able to keep the country on its toes.
As a CIA and this buyer, they are messing up. 8 years,
and I'm going to say, dollar, and I'm 13. So now, yeah,
I'm 11.
Sir, officially it's about 12 something. On the streets, about 13, 14. See, I'm going to pay a Christmas, then you call about 20. Yeah, but say it should stabilize. And these are things that Ghanaians are crying about. Look at fuel cost. Ghanaians need MPP back, but they won't give us power if we are disillusioned. And Ghanaians are ready to give a spot. That is where I would say.
Okay. Over there, me person man for be me who say Akwatia Jenny mo Akwasia man patron stand by me connect mu nyana so ma share margin. But the chairman as I be dia kwakasa say it's not about nipa ba kono amobeto no. So oye sura abofo kra second say the okay. Na say party na di na chi na gija o mbegu na ni mas atwe na ba form. E load. They weigh him down.
That is 100% correct. Many they are doing. It's no better from day one after you lose you. Ken has always been preaching about unity. I don't know how Ken I can know to say what bunu yabunasum. Oh yeah, no cry and fan ho. She near my akoso. Party executive, it me ma obi eko tremble be yeah can Agyapong sabita frate.
There be party for no to muni mo hwe. Nipa na na e kan asem. Freedom of expression.
But maybe if you that's why we have leaders. Of us are in Beya, they say. They
be over for the okay, Buba wow. Time and I can so ten at 2 now, no so fire for no. And a party company for the man of fire for.
Maybe time no fire, maybe
can I so be to mean anyway, me boy.
I fear. No, who can I want can he?
I'm not national executives no almost stop you, be no be stopping Ken. Freedom of expression.
They say debut. Hey, Efia, Sana Okano.
Now, what is good for the goose is equally good for the gander.
You're not allowed me to finish.
All over the place, no. Party executive because stop on na.
Tama Ken Kasa me bow. I want make 2 points and let me answer. Ken Kasa no Kasa not Ken Ute so Kasa tia any aspirant be a choose no.
Any aspirant but Kasa tia mo party for no Kasa tia mo anga tia mo.
Majority of Kasa okay no Kasa in defense of MPP. Kasa obijina baby control baby kakraba so Kasa against MPP no.
Then when Kasa back over there so who say minim Ken tell minim Ken azana woni no.
Afia okay,
media why executive ben
Mommy, one statement
one statement. I'm saying that Ken Akasa so many times.
Any point it was
Jerry. Oh yeah, and a chairman as I be there kukacha your objective kakra. Your objective. Meaning
objective
Minim so doken. Me amete. I've had even occasions to even tell Ken say some of the things Onyaika. You should ignore. But Okona, hine man a chance. No, I'm saying say.
No, okay against MDC and okay against on one.
It doesn't matter. They will MDC cry the repercussions. But what I speak to the issue, Mr. Jerry. Speak to the issue. We say they will forward, you know. Presidential na chamasa be there akokase wa ma suggestion be so ma bebre youth no ne ade kan na betimi dey abo but the party machinery no how do you strengthen the say about say Ken cry na win a say ba o me ani team kase yen support Ken to me win it very difficult.
That is why I started with say from the one that we lost the election Ken has always been preaching about unity. And I make kokase entin we bu nu aguna sum say obi din na tem kra emfa na no organizing in a bus united front here they are to me. It is a say no what me were coming or no trying to camp no every nimu who try kind speeches ne baby event or happy and nana he never utter any word against anybody. No all ya say no campaign ni man was a dear me mama me kwana me bad me aye they met me their boy mine my red or say my policy is all about job and a Ghana your problem you know Ghana face youth unemployment. 18 is a meba. Mama me I can solve this problem. And no dinner baby see a car say. And so I did not kind I applaud him said I hope so repeat yaka. It been more fun out of contest, but it was a good statement. Ya try ya my Ghana my to a yepe or man penny awaba up to date. Obia intimi superseding the recorder. Only one person which is Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Or no free UP tradition, MPP, no bad or say. Mama, Kwame Nkrumah, it took him 9 years to do all of this. But me, as an MPP, me free MPP never. Mama, he beat Kwame Nkrumah record. He's not saying for himself. Kasano cannot come MPP as a party because I'm a leader. Ojina my MPP. Eti me as an MPP, me bana me di me kuo n'anima. Kwame Nkrumah dey awaye bia mo ma me 8 years I be beating no. And then they say, but your party no say of Asarbedi akukase ya united, I yet me yehwe no. E bi no fan out of contest say Ken Koka say President Kufuor kra anyehwe. I then Okoka say Kwame Nkrumah ya dey take. Look at how they taking the whole contest. But then all kind of favor for MPP because of the MPP ticket never. It is about my acquiring young MPP for your baby to Kwame Nkrumah within 8 years. It is our united front na ye kano. A internal problem a was a see as a young to me and solve for a problem now. If you are there be a many of us are be there, rabbit na kasasa ikusiaga. Or what the statement of making I agree with him. About 80% of Nini more Kenya perfect. But how are we going to implement it? How are we going to execute that? Have you identified the problem? Yes or no? If yes, dear, then let's work towards it. If we have not identified the problem, near full say, yeah, you're able to try your whole second or backdoor there. I'm sorry, we just beating about the bush. We will best hand the power on my NDC just like that. Okay. That's all I'm saying, sir. Let's be united.
Mr. Say a presidential race, no. One say can nebeti me save situation at least for the future. No baby, I'm moving money at no. One bemudia a problem.
For the
so
future,
far, what is the process? No, say I'm here.
Yeah, what did I say? Yeah, oh, yeah,
like campaign.
Yeah, campaign. We're gonna set the ball rolling from tomorrow. We are going around for unity tour. Yeah, called unity tour. Unity assembly of Abedia Kokaya. Until he brought that up. Tomorrow we are setting the ball rolling. Yeah, called unity tour across the whole Ghana. We are going to beg the people, the grassroots, our voters. Oma Bamabu, Oma Omuraho, Oma Omubuafu party, no, Oma sa 2 million you lose sa vote. We have to go to them. Let's approach them together, beg them, say Pamucho. This time yeba. Nemo make an Agyapong mama me kwanya. Sadi nebi CBM a campaign oye. Uncle Jnaba bin kokase me papa chobi. Or say me oma me kwanya. Adia met me Empo Omo Pamo Mumrebi Chamukram. I'll fight for the amnesty. Or say Momo be amnesty nomra. That shows you how the kind of leader you want to be. It could also Monfal and Chamato be a mapamni be a manimra. But yeah, amnesty program not to call them no. Say the way I Omo presenting and you might be so uncle ye to other side don't person Mubano. Kasabia tiaum. Because if you me say me tia. Now what pam me free party? Who pam me no? Who can you patch them? Now who frame me? Who person miss me basa? How they want troll it? Now you not troll it free. No so nobody or not troll it. It doesn't make sense. And in a woman say, open it all. Amnesty is an amnesty. Obeba bra, oh my young poucho. Oh, ya be a come and join the party, but the party you think you love. Bra, mumra, but be amrefi, mumrefi, because ya the dodo and the yinam. It is someone in Abe Boma, fair, but don't give conditions. Omrekwa wo that we hear and you know him. Right now, we know here dom and I don't know here dom. So what I said, the conditions that to me, I wish that they will lift that condition up from that amnesty. Exactly, no be because last time I heard you with Hobsiando Obisan. He said the same thing. So we are now also on the condition to come, and that is only already say permanent.
Yeah.
That's my point I want to raise. But unity turn it here. We're setting the ball rolling from tomorrow. Or Trabati and come. Yeah, come and be the chopper and now. Be aware you thank you to where unity talk. That's all kind of
a chopper and a candidate in but generally about the candidates no say 2020. Do you think there's hope? Because as and baby, including people like me, if you ask me, I'm like 2028, they won't forget. Maybe at 2032. Do you think it's a more correct system now? You have a chance for 2028, Anna.
Oh yes, we have a splendid chance of 2028. Some guys are going to near America. Yeah, maybe economy could be a dollar. Na mean, cocoa for disappointing or we have fuel prices. I mean, no can say Ghana fuel. From about electricity, send electricity, yeah, charge you or more. What I say, so when I kind, some of the taxes that they've included, from the all these things would play in about 2 years' time. And Ghanaians will be able to compare our achievements with what NDC have achieved. And the tradition Moses here, I can tell you, sir, we can win in 2028 easily. But Maminka Asemba Ubusa about what is the party doing to be able to make sure that becomes a reality. One of the things that we've done, in your constitutional reforms, be able to allow more people to come in. That was a step in the right direction.
Okay.
What you say? Because we had a problem with the current delegate system. Unfortunately, which is one member, one vote, but at least we've opened it up to have majority of the people elect the library they want. That is a very good step in the right direction. Okay. Uncle Jerry Kasa about the amnesty issue, I know he raised point because that he has some clauses in there. But if there are many things you're doing about that, and they say you are a party that is governed by rules. So okay, let know. It was pretty much very open to everybody to come back. But Obia resigned from the party, right? It's different from Obia. Party say your party natural say why are you suspended? But if you suspended you, then the general secretary has the right to write you and can have you back. That's what the letter said. But so that has already been done. But if you've resigned from the party on your own accord, then it behooves you to apply to join the party again.
But I think the point of Jerry is to make it resign you, but Obi Enim to say Bibi wom.
What I say, Bibi wom resign. But is the way forward about, say, your friend is saying, an open amnesty? Well, if you not done anything, because I don't know. It's not a letter that's going to bring him back. So they open amnesty to him back.
But also in background, I'll bet me a friendly panel.
You don't put those things in the publication. What I say, what the general secretary wrote was perfect, but you on what I say, you go and you resolve that back door. That is the right thing, because that's our constitution. Our constitution as a party, if you want to join the party, you apply to join the party. You cannot break the party constitution. But so that is the right thing to do. No, who join say I'm a member. No, I have a membership card. So that is the situation I'm coming to join the party.
You didn't apply for it, and
I filled the membership form, which is an application.
Okay.
What I say? And it's the same that the constitution.
Giving the cost money numbers.
Yeah, numbers. Me know
80 no kwasi 87. Mo ye person mo ye almost negligible in parliament.
But the point I'm
say they pedom to the bra.
And because if you aggrieved no about 80% are okay. You know because those are all there. But when I work that 1 or 2% now can say or see even if you are breaking an open amnesty, they're not going to come back. Because that is not the problem. That's what I'm trying to say. That is not the problem. The problem is that is how you bring these people back. They won't come back because you've written a letter say, okay, open amnesty, back.
Okay.
So that is not realistic. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
Okay. And that is what needs to be done. Just to come back to the question, one of them, the amnesty is also very good. Because now Federica and Yadom, 41%. You need people to come back in. That is very key. But the most important thing, as I always say, is let's have, because there's a lot of people feel say, once a party, feel say there's so much and those things need to be addressed. That's how I'm calling for a free and fair system to be able to govern our elections. And the last thing is discipline within the party. If we are, example, we are a party that has an image. It appears that discipline within our party is breaking down. And without discipline, we cannot achieve our results.
I think you of Jerry can reference to one body did the Babronye.
So whether it's a Bronya, whether it's a Wapapo, whoever
what the Kaka say, not MPP for image.
Exactly.
Now, Abronya, and your MPP image.
Me, I don't support Abronya, I don't support Abuapaku, I don't support anybody that goes from platforms to insult. You can speak the truth, you can speak the facts and make your point. We're not the party that where we insulted to prove our point forward. That is not right. What you say? So let's all come back to our core, the core things that we need to go ahead and share your facts. Me say Oba, not say the weekend. Oba can then the me say about winning power. To work at the team not gonna forget too much. That's all that we need. And continue to be at don't go cast insinuations. Because will be a Muslim, be free not. And I will say, and those things are not, they are just not. I don't even know. I don't want to use certain words on air. Let's get back to our core principles. Let's have discipline within the party. And those are the man Ghana for. They say, no, say, because me will be said. And the corner I could say, no. First, no, I never been to Kanye. Jerry and Waji Power. Jerry and haven't for about 30 years. So we're all fighting to get democracy for Ghanaians. Say MVP in team, yet democracy about. And now democracy about Ghana for joining. What's your MVP? Yani Jerry train Jerry decides to hand over power. So we brought democracy basically to Ghana in the modern era. Now Ghanaians are looking for something different. They're looking for good governance. They're looking for jobs. So those are the things that we need to focus our campaign on right now. So we need to be able to shift. I'm sure good governance near the attempt. Okay. Into those bravery that they we have to condemn it. Because those are not the things that Ghanaians are looking for. They're looking for good governance, they're looking for people that can speak to what they need, provide them jobs, provide them the healthcare that they need. So those are the things that we need to start championing as a party.
That on that score, what will you tell the current national executives about things like Abronye Day? Because I think it has gone for a couple of months and it's one too many.
I think so.
Somebody should be able to call that to order because another person not just say attended everywhere. What will you tell them? Say because they are very pissed about that. So be the
and it's going both ways. There are a lot of people that also come to go because it's both ways. What I think needs to be done is we have leaders in the party, aside even the national leaders. Your 24 party, it goes a long way. And I'll give you an example. We never former President Jerry Kufuor. I think, sir, let's pull everybody in. At the end of the day, let's bring everybody in and tell them, say, hey, baby, so would get them Ghana for MP you cannot win Ghana. Ghana is not go to somebody that came in on a platform of insults. Everybody hold your horses. Open candidate A, send the offer the weekend. Market your candidate. You don't market your candidate by insulting the other candidate. Open candidate B. I think that is what the national executive need to work on. Because you do actually. I'm going to being Kasa. And free all those people that are behaving that way. Let's have them in a room and let's talk to them. Hey. At the end of the day, 2 million we Macau, those things for our end result. And I think so once that is done, but the people that are doing it, they are reasonable people. Believe me. They are reasonable. These are people that have worked for the party. But I think so we can talk to them back door and make sure there is civility. And our party goes back to where it needs to be. And that's what I think. I think there needs to be more backdoor engagement. And I'm sure the leadership of the party would take it on and get it done. So that's the only way that we can bring this under control.
Okay. Chairman, one of him. Oh,
yeah, I agree with him. Okay. Because by be a party, all we need is.
Well, Mr. Jerry Opoku in article. But Chairman, in fact, I think and then you've been more than bold because because me who executive bia what me asseche na no ne se adu asam ye no tumi aka ne pain like calling the party say mpanifo no on this Abronye issue they should put their foot down and then the issue about say monko a chopper go on a national plea na mon panko for chow. I think you've been very bold in saying some key things nti mama na wase ne pa mama na wase I think so akobio. Because I say national executive, the MPP before them pam on convert to do get camera.
I even answer that. Namia Duma will platform the question. Meminda Airway or Washington DC. MPP Washington DC. Yeah, huge picnic. You invited Ghana for more Washington DC Metro, have Virginia DC, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey. West Coast Mumbra. He invite you so be Ramaka me and celebrate because as I said, it's all about unity. And that is where it's going to start. We will have live shows, we'll have live on Facebook, on YouTube. will be interviewing Ghanaians. So then I'm so we interview here, you be interview Ghanaians. Team share some for when invite you. Be any for Kamamra. Actually, I'm buy a picnic anytime anyway. The Dr. Lawrence is always there. So Munina Mumbrana a nice picnic this coming Saturday. You be a lot in here or Virginia.
Okay.
And to your question now, Busa, about friend is saying, Namia Duma says they see and so a friend is saying, a presidential. You real president before we are from Busami about this issue, say Chairman running. I think, say, after the presidential, there's going to be timelines for regional constituencies, polling stations. You bear all those timelines. Into do yes, we'll decide as to whether we'll stay on as the MPP Washington DC chair. Now say remember so come medus, na come set am one pray MPP Washington USA chairmanship. We do how would but now the focus is say there's a lot of problems in the party right now. You need a flabber and have a united party. You realize all these things are going to fall in place.
Okay. Yo chairman, chairman so afraid mu 90 for na. Unim baby apart from DC way baby I mean that beautiful idea we be so a Worcester.
Yes.
Ghana for now on NDC MPP Friday be omuti baby from anochikrom.
Anochikrom.
Ubekona NDC ni MPP for riggings ni be no more report. Now say na Ghana for omuti one amo boss otro. Azo come mesne ko emra DC na omra Worcester mehe. Momu de mo no musabo mo chele bomo. Obi anya na
yeah, one Ghana. Exactly.
That's a beautiful thing. I also move here, move back to you.
Yeah.
The chairman, you know, as a pa.
Miss Meadows, no chief when I'm a chair be
you. Yeah, that's a chairman. Janice, as I be there, say, omo ye picnic, DC, intino, NDC, MPP, why you mean Amomra? Over there, move back on Anamo. Okay,
no, you have met driver. But also you're inviting to September 26th.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, annual gala fundraiser, Honorable Kennedy Agyapong.
Oh, my, a year, my Kennedy Agyapong, New Jersey, and
New York.
New York, okay.
Basketball, New York, specific year bronze. Address me 1137 Prospect Avenue. Okay. Across 50 states, I will be able.
Oh, okay.
Metons are French, and say, okay. Now, on my trade. Yeah, nipa back one body. MPP, you party the best fun to my preference here. From they say in Pennyphone, they are beginning to understand some of the problems are affecting. I'm a year conform. Who do the chairman? I agree with him on certain point because the party yet me and your backwa. If you are young, it's not going nowhere. Can Japan best offer Jesus Christ crabber without unity? You can't win power. We have to be united and come as one affordable front. Now yet Timiji party this year. And the NDC for main commerce because mobile is too young.
Mon come via someone party ni jija. And mon come via someone NDC.
Me kokasa me pese me can NDC for us. Allow them. It's only 8 months. They have a long way to go. 4 years term. They only have about 8 months. It's very difficult, dicey, to criticize them for now. Let's allow them. Dollar normal to stabilizing a kakra. I'm up to date. I'm saying any bad. Let's hope say me Ghana a year. NDC 40 me a bomb or the normal chichro money to certain point. Now MPP bani a betwaswa. No money don't waste them to I disagree with anybody on their failure. We have to waste their sources. So the next government, it will be easy for you to also to operate. That's my argument. But come 2026, Team Ken USA, the whole North America, we are having an event. Everyone is invited. Wabenya will be Abra Bronze. Address in 1137 Prospect Avenue. It's in Mumrani and Chile. The whole Team Ken USA members.